Let's bring our final guest there, shall we? He's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's an actor, he's also a movie director. He's directed his first film, which he also wrote. I think he's one of the most interesting artists around right now. Will you please welcome, it's Ben Drew from Plan B. Good to have you, Ben. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Before we chat about you, what do you think of Gareth's rapping? Do you think he's got what it takes, or he's MCing, whatever that was exactly? Because now you get your chance, now he's in there.
Do you know what? It's poetry, so if he doesn't like rapping, he doesn't like poetry.
That's a very good point.
But, you know, there's a big misconception about hip-hop music, and that's because of the way that it's sold in this country.
And what's that misconception, then?
That it's all about money, hoes and rims.
To be fair, a large amount of it is.
Well, a large amount of the stuff you hear is.
Yeah. So
but the underground stuff isn't. It's very conscious and it's more like poetry.
And there seems to be a move now towards slightly more, kind of a broader base of stuff. I've seen a lot of the new stuff is touching on other issues, more so than it used to even.
You know, people are listening to my hip-hop now because of... it's ironic. Soul music is allowing people into the real world of hip-hop, I feel, which I captured with my film, Ill Manners, and a new record. Before I'd done Strip the Max, I don't think it would have been possible for a record like Ill Manners to do what it done, you know, go #1.
You know what's interesting is I find about you is you're obviously a very intelligent young man. You're not necessarily a well-schooled young man. I don't know how far did you get in your education? No, that wasn't me having a dig. I mean, in terms of like, you're not university educated, but you're very smart. You're very intelligent.
University of life.
Yeah. So you're very articulate as well. Where does that come from, do you think, Ben? What is that? Is this from
You know what? Hip-hop music brought me up, and in order to do it, you have to have a good vocabulary, you know? And I didn't get the grades at school. You know, I got kicked out of school. But I was fortunate to go to the Tunmarsh Centre in Plaistow, where I just done the Project Hackney, which was a TV show where, for the Hackney Weekender, which is to give, you know, local people from the Olympic areas a chance to kind of be involved in the Olympics in some way. We put on a show for them, or Radio 1 put on a show for them. And as part of it, they asked me, Labyrinth and Leona Lewis to go back to our old schools for like a day or two. And I explained that my old school, you can't do that. It's not the kind of school where you can go and have a photo opportunity. You know, they're kind of disadvantaged kids, and if I'm going to go back there, I have to try and make some kind of a difference. You know, the reason why we had the riots is because we have a generation of kids that aren't being parented properly. No one's showing them love, and they think they're...
You're speaking clearly, it's striking a chord.
They feel like they're not worth anything, and then they walk out the front door and they read the newspaper, and the media tells them they're not either.
And the media describes them as chavs, or it's...
Yeah, and society reads the newspaper, and then they believe it. And then when they come into contact with a kid like this, they have a preconception of them, and then they treat them accordingly. And, you know, we have issues. You know, we have issues in this country. Everyone sees them. And the biggest issue I feel was the riots. And when the riots happened, I could see the problem. And I feel like it's an issue that's been here longer than 30 years. And, you know, the government have never done anything to change it.
What do you think? Have you spoken to any politicians? Because they often reach out.
Do you know what? I have spoken to politicians. I've spoken to some very young and charming, nice politicians. Actually, one of them was quite fit.
I like Nick Clegg too. I think he's... No, Oh, I see. You weren't... I see. I thought he was...
No, their hearts, you know, like, at this age, I think if you get into politics, you kind of, like, you get into it for the right reasons. You kind of want to change things. And I think that once you climb up the ladder and you get into that seat of power, I think you get compromised straight away.
They have to compromise just to get there, it seems, and so therefore they've already lost that, maybe that initial reforming urge, or...
Yeah, which is... It's difficult for me to kind of... I'm trying to think of the right word. I would say get down with a politician.
Since you've become well-known, who have you met? Who have you encountered? Which heroes have you met? Have you met people who were influences to you when you grew up?
Yes,
have you enjoyed that?
I met The Prodigy. I met Liam Gallagher. I met Ray Winston, obviously, Michael Caine, who I work with.
Who did you meet at the Nordhoff Robbins?
Oh, OK.
Who did you meet there? This is this intrigues me, this story.
So I won 3 Ivor Novellos. Was it last year or the year before?
Year before, I think,
wasn't it? And it's quite emotional for me because, like, Ivor Novellos is about what the people within the industry think about you. It's not to do with selling records or, you know, it's not televised. So it's about, you know, the writing of the song and the artistry of it. And it was very emotional for me. And I'd done quite an emotional speech. And Rolf Harris come up to me afterwards.
Now, was Rolf Harris familiar with your work? Is he a Plan B fan? He knew about Plan B?
I think so.
He knew about it, OK.
Well, I mean, he knew about me after that, but he was crying. And he just said that my speech had brought a tear to his eye and inspired him to want to write music again.
Oh, hold on.
And
now, is that...
No, I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you, because I was like... It was so surreal, because I was like... I said to him as well, I said, I feel like you're my granddad, because he's looked the same throughout my whole life. He hasn't aged. He's always had white hair.
Did you used to watch Cartoon Time with Rolf?
I used to love drawing. Before I'd done any of this stuff, I got really good at drawing. Okay. And then I found music and alcohol and girls, and then now I'm crap. Yeah, but, like, it was drawing, and, you know, Rolf Harris, like, I grew up with him, and he didn't know who I was until then, but I knew exactly who he was. And it was so weird the first time I meet him that he's crying and telling me how much I've inspired him. And then we had a picture, and then he had a go at me because I wasn't smiling properly. Like a proper granddad, do you know what I mean?
That's old school showbiz.
He's like, come on, smile properly, you've got to show your teeth. You know? It was just, you know, overwhelming, really overwhelming, strange experience.
You know, I really enjoy your work, but certainly meeting you, you're such a lovely man.
Thank you
thanks for coming on.
Thank
Ben
you.
Drew, And Ben, many people think of him as a rapper, but of course, I guess it was your singing that really put you on the map, wasn't it? You sing as well, and you're going to... The track you're going to this evening has both in it, doesn't it? It has singing and rapping.
It has singing and rapping.
Yes. You better go and get yourself ready to go. Let's go and get over there. Ben Drew, ladies and gentlemen, is going to perform now with Plan B right over there. Thanks, dude.